Hey, what it do, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again. How's everybody doing today? Hey, it's been hot as hell. I'm hot. It's like 100-something degrees outside. This whole week has been 95, 100, 105. Humidity crazy. I feel like I'm in Texas right now. I might as well be in Texas. Shout out to all my Texas people. Love y'all. But, yeah, like, tomorrow's 4th of July. I know everybody's getting ready to barbecue. Ain't nobody doing no work at work today because tomorrow's a holiday. Most people are off. So they getting ready to get with family and friends and get that barbecue started. And if you out doing fireworks, be careful. Don't blow nothing up. Don't blow nothing up. Shout out to JPP. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about our linebacker core right now. What does the Dallas Cowboys linebacker core look like? Now, we know that Sean Lee has been the man, the face of this linebacker core since he's been in the league. It's also true that his injuries had kept him to the point where he has not been able to complete a whole season. But he is a Pro Bowler. He is a leader in that locker room, on and off the field, whether he's playing or not. He's always been that leader. He leads by example. You look at All or Nothing when, I mean, you guys should have known this before, but, I mean, he's a workout warrior and he's a study warrior. I mean, you look at All or Nothing at the end of there where the last clip of the actual episode was, the last clip was him sitting in the dark, in the daggone film room, watching film, getting ready for the next season. That's just what he does. He leads by example. Now, when these young guys come in, they look at him like, okay, well, Sean Lee's doing it this way. Maybe I should follow suit. It's the same thing when Jason Witten was here with the tight end group. Now, we know that Sean Lee is that guy. There's no need to reiterate that. But we do know that I've heard reports that if he gets injured again, he's not going to be back on his team or his career is in jeopardy, this, that, and the third. Now, you know, we can look into that and we can debate that, but it's all on what the Cowboys want to do. We already know the Dallas Cowboy brass loves Sean Lee. They respect him. They know that his leadership qualities are what it is, and they want to keep him around. That's clear. I do know in the future when he does retire, he may be a coach somewhere, linebacker coach, whatever, whether it's back at Penn State or with the Cowboys someday. But he does make a difference. Now, because he studies, because he knows the playbook, because he's a guy that is very disciplined with the way he is, it helps the other players on this team. Now, one thing that will help Sean Lee this year stay healthy for a whole season, yes, I said it, healthy for a whole season, is the emergence of Leighton Vander Esch. I know, because I was one of them. When Leighton Vander Esch got drafted, we all were like, what the hell are the Cowboys doing? Now, I don't think it was more so we didn't want Leighton because he was lacking talent. That's not the case. The case was a lot of us did not like Leighton Vander Esch because there was other guys there. You had Deron Payne, Will Hernandez, Vita Vea. I think Vita Vea went... Vita Vea went 2 before us to the Chargers, I think. But yeah, I mean, you had Will Hernandez there. You had guys there to get. And we were just thinking a whole different way. Nobody was thinking about Leighton Vander Esch but the team. I mean, they literally salivated over this guy. That's pretty much where they went with that. They looked at Leighton Vander Esch like he was godsend. And I remember the day at the draft. We were there in Texas, and we were outside watching the TV outside. And when the pick came in, and it's on video, it's documented. I think the Stinking Giants fan has it, but whatever. Yeah, so when it happened, I literally just dropped. I had a draft board. I was trying to be professional. I had a draft board. I was doing the damn thing. And then I just dropped the board and just went back to the RV and was like, you know what? I'm done for the night. Let's see what happens in the rest of the rounds. I was done after the first round after that when they got Leighton. But when you had time to think about it, and you sit down and you think of things and you're like, you know what? Maybe it's not as bad as I thought. And you sit here and you say, hey, what can this guy bring to the table now that he's with this team? So far, since he's been here, he's definitely the right kind of guy that Jason Garrett talks about all the time. Now, this whole right kind of guy thing is all well and good, but you got to be able to play. One thing that struck out about me is that he's a sure tackler. He can definitely hit you. Now, he's not that guy that's going to beat blocks or anything like that. But when it comes to the offensive player trying to get past him, they're not going to get past him. He's a sure tackler. He uses his shoulder. I mean, he definitely can finish a play. But the problem is, you want to make sure that your defensive linemen are doing their job. Because if they're taking on these blocks, that leaves open lanes for him to go east to west. And he has that part of the field to cover. And he basically can get his guy, get him down, and that's it. Because there's been too many times where last season and the years before where guys will run up the damn middle and the middle of the field be wide open. And that's when Sean Lee wasn't in the game. So I think that if Leighton Vander Esch, again, it's going to take time. He's still a rookie. We'll get to see more of him in training camp and see what he can do. But I'm just speculating right now on the strength of his ability itself. Because so many of the staff members on this team salivated over him. So obviously they've done their homework. They know what this guy can do and they know what he can't do. Now, putting him in the game, if he does what he does and he does his job, that helps Sean Lee tremendously. And then hopefully Sean Lee can stay healthy for a whole season because Sean Lee doesn't feel obligated to have to go out there and just keep pounding at it and tearing his body up. Because we know that he's made of paper sometimes. He's strong, but for some reason those injuries have hampered him his whole career. And they always say that once you get one bad injury, the older you get, the worse it gets. That's just how that goes. Now, Jalen Smith. Now, first of all, I just want to say everybody focuses on so much of, I've heard people saying comments on just all different platforms, not just my channel, but just different places that I looked at information. And they always say Jalen Smith is, they give him crap about, oh, well, he can't do this, he can't do that. And as far as wrapping up the tackle, if he doesn't get the guy down, he's running behind him and this and that. And I'm like, I look at it like this. Have you had that injury before? Have you torn your ACL, MCL, everything that's in your knee, including your nerve, and come back and try to play football on that? Especially in the pros. It doesn't work like that. I mean, you probably couldn't even play flag football with a drop foot, a normal person. He defied all odds when it came to that. And first of all, I commend him for even coming back and trying to play on that. Because I can't say if that happened to me, I can't say that I would be motivated to continue to play, especially in the pros. I mean, you know, if a player got past him and he had to cut off of that drop foot, he wasn't able to do that. And he was running from behind, which makes sense because of the injury. Now, he says that he can play without a Ritchie brace now, which means that he's getting more filling back in it. We don't know if it's ever going to be 100%. That's yet to be seen. But the fact that it is generating and it is getting better does help. Because the better he becomes, the better this team becomes on defense. And the better that Sean Lee can potentially play. Because, again, both Jalen and Leighton Vander Esch help him to be a better player to stay healthy. Now, one thing I can say about Jalen Smith, he is definitely a mature young guy. I mean, this clear eye view thing that he's been talking about, he's always been talking positive. Even when things just seem like his world was just crashing to an end, you would never know that he was going through the things that he was going through because of the simple fact that Jalen Smith is just that guy that always stays positive. And I look at myself like that too. I'm like, I always try to stay positive, even though I've had a lot of, I've dealt with depression and all types of crazy things in life, and being suicidal in the past, and to be able to overcome that and become a better person and just staying optimistic, staying positive. That's why I tell y'all all the time, I preach positivity all the time in my channel, because again, if you preach positivity, positive things happen. You have to bring it up. You have to talk it up, because if you keep a negative mindset, you're going to have a dark cloud over you all day, every day, and that's not what you want to do. Now, again, like I said, I respect Jalen Smith, and he can't do nothing but get better. Now, he might be close to his ceiling, and again, he might not ever be as crisp and as good as he was when he was at Notre Dame, which is understandable because of the injury. But hey, he's doing a good job, and as long as he's making tackles, and I think that he led a bunch of games this past season in tackles. So, I mean, he's still doing his job, so I'm cool with that. I don't have an issue with that. So some of the new guys that we got on the roster now, Chris Covington, our draft pick, he's been talked up. He definitely is a prototypical linebacker. He looks the part, and it's funny because you can actually play him in a 3-4 or 4-3. He can actually play both schemes, which is actually kind of cool. I don't really have much to say about him right now because I haven't done a whole lot of research on him from college, but I do know that Chris Covington does have the talent to bring to this table, and I'll make my assessment more when we get through training camp and preseason and stuff like that. Joe Thomas that we got from the Packers. Now, Joe Thomas, I think he was on this team for depth purposes and special teams. I'm pretty sure that he will make this team. Justin March Lillard. Now, if you guys remember him, he was on the squad last year. He played spot duty on defense, and he done a decent job. Also playing on running down on special teams too, and making tackles and stuff. So I mean, he definitely fits the mold for a core player, like to help offset the loss of Kyle Wilber. Damian Wilson, well, he's still on the team. Some of you guys probably forgot that Damian was still on the team because he doesn't start, and it seems like he doesn't really do much. But I feel like Damian got to step it up this year, because if Damian Wilson don't step it up this year, he ain't going to be on this team next year. That's just how I feel about it. Now, there's 3 guys also, too, that some of you probably don't even know that's on this roster because it's the off season and they may not make the team anyway. They're just there for camp bodies. Trayvon Johnson, linebacker, Joel Lanning, and for some reason they moved Kyle Quiero from safety to linebacker. This is the stuff that I'm telling y'all about. They keep taking these guys and switching their positions, thinking that they're going to do better. But if Kyle really wanted to make this team, he would stay at safety because he's got a better chance of making the team at safety than he does at linebacker, because we got a lot of players at linebacker, and I want to say 3 of those positions are solidified at linebacker right now, with Sean Lee, Jalen, and Leighton Vander Esch. Those 3 spots are solidified. Everybody else is just jockeying for position. Now, they probably will keep 5 or 6 linebackers. So if I had to choose mine right now, it'd be Sean Lee, Jalen Smith, Leighton Vander Esch, Joe Thomas, and I guess I could put Chris Covington in there. So that's 5 right there. So the odd man out would be Damian and Justin March Lillard. Now you got to figure out what you're going to do. That means these guys got to battle it out. So basically between Eric Pinkins, Chris Covington, Joe Thomas, March Lillard, and Damian Wilson, they gotta fight for a position. They do. Now, they may give Chris Covington the go ahead because he is a draft pick. So maybe let me exclude him on that one. But again, Eric, Justin, March Lillard, and Damian, those 3 guys gotta fight for position. And I'm pretty sure that whoever else is probably gonna go in the practice squad that's eligible. Joe Thomas, I like him. I think that if he makes this team, he would definitely be a good special teamer, and will be really good for spot duty on defense and stuff when we're playing certain packages and stuff, and maybe on like 3rd downs and stuff like that. So like I said, we'll see what happens at training camp. We got a couple more weeks left to training camp. We haven't heard nothing crazy going on. I'm not going to be like Mark and say it's all quiet on the storefront or the home front or whatever. I'm not going to do that, because every time that happens, something bad happens. So I'm not wishing none of that negativity right now. So we're just gonna stay positive. We're gonna get ready to go to training camp, and we're just gonna be happy. That's how we're doing today. So yeah, that's all I had today. Also too, I want to mention my boy. Sad day. My boy DMV Dallas Cowboys shutting down his YouTube channel, bruh. I understand, man. It's hard out here in these YouTube streets, but, you know, you can't let them down, man. You got to keep doing what you got to do. Me personally, John, I think that you need to still be doing videos, bro, because, you know, you can't let them win. You can't let them win the battle. Keep doing you, bro. Because I'm telling you, I'm going to keep doing my videos, and I don't care what anybody say or do. This is my channel. This is how I want to run it. You either like it or you don't. It is what it is. Also, too, guys, I do have a Twitter. I have an Instagram. My Instagram is DJ E2 Williams. Follow me on there. My Twitter is E2 Blue Entertainment. So follow me on both of those platforms. Like, share, comment, y'all. Thanks again for all my subscribers. I appreciate y'all. And it's been your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real on this hot Tuesday. Talk to y'all soon.